Hi, happy to see you on my channel. Today we are going to make a quick sketch of the yacht berth in sunny Barcelona. First we mark the horizon line and start with a sketch of our main heroes of the work. These are two yachts. We also add a few details on the far plan to make it look like a hint of the yacht. Let's draw masts on the yachts. By the way, I was looking for what they are called. In case you didn't know, it was the structure that supports the sails. So everything will be real on our watercolor sketch. There can be a lot of masts to show that there are many of yachts on the back plan as well. The masts can be of different height. Moisturize the upper part of the work with water using any white brush you have, then I mix cobalt turquoise and lavender to form a heavenly color. We also start working with the lower part of the work. We moisturize the paper and work on the sea from bottom to top. We start painting from the bottom using cobalt turquoise, then I add a little bit of lavender into the cobalt, and with this darker shade I begin painting the sea a bit higher up, creating a smooth gradient. To our already mixed colors cobalt, turquoise and lavender, I start adding a tiny bit of neutral tint to darken the shade slightly. And of course we will also paint the shadows underneath our yachts. In some areas I darken the paint slightly to create more of a wave effect. If the waves looks too strong, you can gently soften and blend them out. Now we begin working on our yachts. I mixed lavender with burnt sienna. Overall, the yachts will remain mostly white, so there is no need to fully paint them. We intentionally left those areas white, however, we will add shadows to give them more depth. In the background, I add a few burnt sienna strokes and small details. The windows I paint with the lavender. Once the sea has dried a little, I add more shadows around the yachts to make everything look more realistic. Overall, this sketch is quite quick. We are painting wet on wet, so a lot of details is not necessary here. If you'd like, you can also add more waves. It's completely up to your personal style and preference. Next, we add more shadows to the yachts and tiny details, such as small red markings or accents on the yachts or any other color you like. I made one yacht bright red and another one blue. One of the final details is adding the yacht masts. I paint them with the white in straight lines. Try to keep your mast as straight as possible. You can layer the white several times if it starts to fade and lose brightness. We paint the main yacht masts in the foreground, and in the background I add many thin lines to create the feeling of a marina full of yachts, since we are painting a Barcelona. By the way, I'm painting from a photo that I took myself while traveling, so you can think of this as a real life sketch inspired by my own experience rather than just a random image from the internet. Through this painting, I'm trying to capture the atmosphere of sunny city. Once the white paint on the mast has dried slightly, I add thin lavender lines underneath the white ones to make the mast stand out more. I think you can clearly see how much more expressive and interesting the painting becomes after this step. Using cobalt turquoise, I add tiny dots, lines, and little details to make the artwork feel more lively and interesting. Let's remove the masking tape, and this is the final result we get. I think it looks very elegant with the white borders. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what tutorials or topics will you like to see next. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. See you next time!